How you doing, folks? This is Tamil Aker, owner of Aker Home Inspections, and I was coming to you guys today with some information regarding home inspection on a home that I generally call a flip, or the industry calls a flip. What is a flip? It's typically a home, pre-existing home, maybe older, where they've gone through some updates and things like that. So I'll go ahead and get right to it. When you're going through the home buying process, it's very, very important to get a home inspection because you just don't know what you don't know, right? So I'll turn the camera around and I'll just go through a myriad of things I saw today on this one particular property. One of the things I noticed is a bunch of damaged concrete around the property. To us, that's considered to be a trip hazard. So it's just things to be aware of. The property is also a pier and beam. One of the things I noticed is that it had a lot of damaged venting. Damaged venting can allow pests to live in your crawl space beneath your house, and that's not good. So I consider it to be a health hazard. You just never know what's going to pop out. One of the other things I noticed was the air conditioning system here is missing the required service disconnect. So what is that? It's typically an exterior breaker that allows you to turn off the disconnect the power to the unit immediately, offer servicing, etc. This house had, like I said, had a myriad of things going on. There was some damaged flashing I saw up at the roof level where the nails are starting to release from the actual shingle up at the flashing. So I'm going to go ahead inside now. But one of the other things I noticed before I go inside is that exterior plugs to your home, it's recommended that they be safety plugs, what we call GFCIs. So they took the time to do this one, but the other two plugs in the space, they did not. So not necessarily sure what was the mindset or the thought there, but in a perfect world, you'd like to have all of your plugs GFCI protected. That way, if anybody plugs in anything that's wet, it's going to kill the power. Another thing I noticed at this particular property here was on the exterior of the house. I'm in the garage right now, but I noticed a lot of horizontal cracking along the foundation wall, right? And there were a lot of cracks in the driveway space and on the interior garage. I also noticed that there was some sloping. As you can see daylight on the two corners of the garage door, but it slopes when it gets over here. So that's probably an issue with water ponding. Definitely had to write that up because just don't know how that'll fare. I'm going through this stuff pretty quickly here, but if you guys have any questions, please feel free to just hit me up with any questions or comments that you have. Another thing that I noticed when I was going up the stairs or towards the stairs is that it's recommended for your stair handles to terminate against the wall. Why is that? That way clothing or items don't get caught on it and that can cause a trip hazard. Likewise, over here, anytime you get 36 inches above the flooring, there should be additional railing installed here, so that way nobody falls over from this point. Once you're up here, you're well above 3 feet, right? And that could be a pretty nasty fall. Likewise, and I'm gonna turn around here so I can get a better shot. The clearance here coming up the steps was only about 70 inches, and it's recommended to be 84 inches for clear headspace. I'm not that tall. I'm only about 5'9", 5'10", and my head barely gets through this space cleanly. As we went up the stairs, just a couple of things I noticed here today. Turn some of these lights on. You had a couple of switches in the upstairs area that didn't work. Not sure what the rhyme or reason there was. I did find some exposed electrical here. This room abuts to a bedroom, so this is the back of the box, but that's a shock hazard. You shouldn't have any access to that. Also, here in the attic access, there's no door handle. You can't really get it open. It's not my job to per se start to try to rip it open with pry something in there, that could be a huge issue. Or I could damage it, then they want me to pay for it, right? I also noticed some drywall tearing here, which is just indicative of settlement. So the house is a pier and beam, so there's potentially some movement happening there as well. Come around the corner here. Something else I noticed today at this house, a couple of hazards here. I'm going to show you here. There's lots of activity of fresh rodent activity. That's not a good thing, right? So they're going to have to get that addressed. Here, your exhaust venting, it's recommended, it has a good slope, but it's recommended for it to not be in contact with the roofing material, all right? That's a fire hazard potentially. So you can see it here. There's already some damage here. There's a bunch of damaged insulation in this space as well. But you can tell there's something living up here that's not paying rent, is what I like to say. So they're going to have to get that addressed as well. Sorry for the darkness there, but some of the hallway lighting up here, there we go, that one's working, but the one in the middle of the hallway, okay, it's working now. It has to have that other switch up. But a couple other things I just noticed at this house. There was some damaged plugs in a few areas where you had some hot and neutral reverses, etc. So, like I said, a lot going on here. Very, very important that you get a home inspector, no matter where you live. If you live in the Metroplex, I'm here to help. May it be a flip, new constructions. I know I've done a lot of videos on new construction as well. But anytime you get that flip done, you just don't know what you don't know. And we don't know what they've done, changed, that type of deal. So it's very important. Another thing this house had, which they're going to have to get checked out, is that it had cast iron piping. So cast iron piping is very old, and it can, once you damage it, it can be very, very costly to repair. So let me correct myself. This particular house, you can tell some of it they've replaced, some of it they have not. So with that being said, you know, they're still going to need to get a plumber out here, or to request some documentation on what's been done here previously. So like I said, a lot of different things going on. So yeah, other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Like I said, a lot of information. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at ahi.dfw@gmail.com, or you can just reply to the comments in this video, and I'll be sure to get back to you and try to address any questions or concerns you have. But anytime you guys need the best, not the rest, the best home inspector in the industry, give me a shot at 972-590-8719, or you can catch me on the web at ahidfw.com. All right, happy holidays to you guys. Mask up, and happy New Year's to you as well. All right, bye-bye.